Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Country Morning Creations here with a tutorial on making tags using a very common office product, and that's time cards. So I bought these time cards at Office Max, and they were about 18 bucks for 200. 200 count, which comes out to about 11 cents a tag for making these. And what I love is they're already manila. They come in a great size. They are 3 3/8 by 9 inches. So the back is blank, and this gives you already some decoration on the front. So I think these were really popular a couple of years back, and they kind of have fallen off. You know, we have fads that come and go, but I really wanted to go back to making some tags with these. So that's what I'm going to do today. Some of the other equipment I have, or what I'm going to use to decorate with, I have a kit that has all of this stuff. So it actually came like this. It's from Prima. It's their Spring Farmhouse. And it goes with the journal I'm currently making. Oh, what did I do with it? Oh, it's right here. So this is the journal that I've made, and I'm now just working on the ephemera for it. I'll just give you a real quick glance through. So it's got tags and it's got blank pages, and I haven't added pockets, so I need to add pockets back into it. And so I had bought these to go along with it. I also have leftover scrap pieces here that are from cutting the pages and the signature covers and things of that nature. I have these. I have some book page that I got from, this is a late 1800s report of the Secretary of Agriculture from 1889. So this is a really old book, and it's full of all kinds of fabulous stuff, and the pages are already grungy and old, which I love. And then I think I also have my favorite tissue paper. So I have some tissue paper. So I thought I would just make a couple of these for you to show you how I would make these and some different options that you might have as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is, being 9 inches, they'll stick out of the top of the journal. I don't want that. If you're okay with that, just leave them the way they are. But I'm going to take a few and cut the tops off of them first. And to me, this is just easier and quicker with a trimmer than to try to, cut them by hand or cut them on some other form. So I'm just going to cut these tops off real quick and just do a few of them. We're not going to make this a really long video. I'm hoping this will go pretty quickly. And by cutting this blank, there we go, top part off, now they are 8 inches tall. So I'm going to just do those two. And then the next thing I will do is I'm going to ink up the edges. So my favorite thing these days is this Distress Oxide. You can see I set my pad down on top, so there's ink on top of this. Anyway, it's gathered twigs. I love that. And wow, I got everything out, and now I can't find a thing. You know how that goes, right, when you're recording? It's like, I've lost everything. So I'm trying to find my inker, my pad that has my inker on it. Well, let's just grab this one. All right, so I found out that these sponge ones are actually the ones you're supposed to use with your distress inks, not your alcohol inks, but your distress inks. I actually posted something on Instagram, and Tim Holtz said, no, these are for your Distress Oxide and your distress inks. And the other ones, these are specifically for alcohol inks. I said, well, okay, thank you, Tim, for letting me know that. And now you know. So this, I'm still kind of mastering this technique. And what he talked about is it looks like there's no ink on there, but surprisingly, there's a lot of ink. And so you just use these to ink it. It's going to kind of end up being a little grungy, and then that's what I want. I'm trying to get that grungy kind of inky, edgy, so the foam doesn't give you like a real clean, crisp edge. It gives kind of more of an inky, grungy edge. So yeah, like I said, I'm still kind of mastering this and not quite there. And then I just like to take it and kind of rub some of the ink over it. And so now it's got that nice grungy look. So for this tag, I'm going to just start throwing some layers on it. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. So like, for example, this is from the cover. I have some of this left over. I think let's take a little bit here, and I'm going to actually bring this down. I want to actually be able to see some of what's behind it, so I don't want to completely cover it. And of course, I forgot to grab a glue stick. Let me grab one of those. And we're going to put this on something so I don't ruin my table. But I really like the Scotch Create. It's a glue stick, it's permanent, it's photo safe, so that means it's acid free. So I like using glue sticks for this kind of work versus a liquid glue. To me, it just goes much faster, and if you can get a really nice big one like this, it helps because then you're moving a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to throw that down. I think I will next grab a bit of book page. Let's put that on there as well. I'm struggling to grab the bit of book page. There we go. So I was going to grab some book page. And plus, what I like about a glue stick is I can get all the way out to the edges without having to, smear it with my finger. So theoretically, my fingers will have less glue on them, but we know how that goes, right? So now I just need to pick a couple of things from here. Let's see, does that fit on there? Not quite. So we could do something like that that says something a little bit more crooked. Ooh, I like that. So we could put that goose on there. Let's see. Heart and Home. Do we want to put that? Oh, we could put that down there. And let's put the goose up here. There we go. So now I do want to ink the edges of these two pieces. And like I said, I had not grabbed or pre-prepped anything. The other thing I'm finding with the foam is it gets into those little crevices a lot better than that solid piece. So it makes it a little bit easier to ink around the edges of pieces that are pre-cut like this. And you know how we always have tons of pre-cut stuff. I mean, to me it looks amazing. This does not look like there's any ink on there, and then you start inking and there's quite a bit actually. So yeah, this was really good to find out, learning that there is something there. So we're going to put this on here with our glue stick as well. And I have not had a problem with stuff drying out and coming off later. I live in Colorado. It's really dry here. So I would think that if there was going to be a problem with lifting, I would have seen that by now. And again, like I said, glue sticks are just awesome. And they really can make a big difference. There we go. So there is our first one. And so it's you see that it's still a time card, and on the back there's plenty of room for reading. And the other thing you could do is if you wanted to pre-cut the corners so it looked more like a tag and poke a hole, you could do that as well. So let's try that. I'm going to grab one that I already have made. This one's already made and inked. As usual, I didn't pre-grab stuff, so I'm grabbing things as I walk away and come back. So I cheat. These are the pre-made ones I buy at the store, but they already have the angles on them. So to me, it makes it easy to just line these up And then I use this as a guide to then cut the corners. So we're just going to cut those corners using this as a guide. Yeah, it's cheating, and I know there are actually great, I think We Are Memory Keepers makes a great board, a punch board that you can use, and it makes that a lot easier. So I'm going to just grab my hole punch, and let's get that hole punched. One of the advantages, it looks like this is kind of the middle, so punching a hole in the middle makes it pretty easy. You just kind of punch in the middle, except I'm doing that wrong. There we go. Now it's right. So we punch a hole in the middle. Ish. Close enough. And for this one, I want to use some of that tracing paper that I have to kind of cover up a little bit more. And since I have this tracing paper already kind of torn, I'm just going to keep tearing it. And I want to tear this bottom off because I don't want the clean edges. So this time I want to take, yeah, let's make this the back. We're going to take this tracing paper and it's going to cover up the edges a little bit more so you don't see those. And it kind of will help. So there. Now you get kind of more of a grungy look, and it's a little bit, so it'll look very different from the other card. Let's see. I'm trying to find some strips of something I can use here. And there's so many different ones. Ooh! Okay. Just going to grab this one. So this one, let's do 3 hearts. I like that number. And because these are off center, I'm going to go ahead and cut right up so it looks fairly even with the other side. And then of course, ink the edges because we can, right? Ink the edges of everything as much as you can. Yeah, when I first started scrapbooking, I didn't like all of that, and now I really love it. And no, I'm not laying everything out before I start gluing things. I'm just going to glue things and then lay things out. So it's okay. Oh, and I am loving this milk jug. I think that's going to look great on this as well. And then I'll put one more saying on this because I do have several word pieces on here, and that we can put on here as well. So we'll put this one down. And I actually want to put this down here as well because I'm thinking that what we put up here is going to be bigger. And we're just going to glue this down as well. And this one doesn't need to get inked around the edges because it already has a dark edge. Although I'm seeing some of that white. But I think we're going to be okay. And I'm just going to put that down. And the nice thing is I have little guidelines, so it makes it easier to put something like that down. And there's another tag. So one of the things you could also go so far to do is to actually, I'm not liking how white this is, so we're going to make this a little bit grungier. There we go. That was just too white for me. So anyway, one of the things you could do is you could also use stamps and stamp on these. So to finish this off, I am just going to put little circles. So these I think I actually had a bunch lying around my home, and all I did was just take the distress ink and rub it over it. This is Vintage Photo, not the gathered twigs, but it's what I have available. And I do like to do both sides just so it looks nice on both sides. And then we would just run some string through that. I happen to have some. And I will grab a little piece of string. And we'll run that through the end, and then we have another tag that looks kind of different from what we did the first one, but it's still a tag. And then these will just fit real nicely down into the pockets and won't stick out the top. You'll get the strings hanging out the top, but you won't get anything else. So that is my tutorial on making tags with time cards. And I think they turned out really cute. I'm going to make a few more now once I turn the camera off. I won't bore you with watching me make every tag. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you make some tags as well. I hope I have encouraged and inspired you to be creative today. Bye!